What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to episode 20 of our Minecraft AlltheMods10 playthrough, where we'll be getting into the mod called EvilCraft. In this episode we're going to be slaughtering a bunch of chickens, harvesting blocks of blood, converting dark gems, setting up some new fuel types from JustDireThings, and utilizing them for our AlltheMods star requirements. Alright, so getting started, we've gathered a couple things that we have from EvilCraft and also some integrated dynamics items as well that we're going to be using. And one main thing that we're going to need when we get started is this blood extractor. And we actually want to craft a couple of these, and you can see they're pretty easy to make. We just need these spikes, some glass, and a dark gem. And these spikes are super easy to make. If you just take a dark gem and some iron ingots, you can make 16 of them just with one iron ingot and one dark gem. And we already have gathered a good amount of dark gems just from playing the game and exploring caves and such. So we'll start with 2 of them for now. And what we want to do is we want to go kill mobs, I believe, just while this is in our inventory. Let's just go around and start killing mobs and see if this thing will fill up. Oh yeah, there. So we got 559 and we want to fill this up to 5,000. And I do see we have another dark gem here. Might as well just pick this up real quick. And when we mine that, because we have efficiency and fortune on our pickaxe, we're actually getting the crushed dark gems as well. And we got 7 dark gems just from that one ore. I honestly think something we could just do, since we already have this set up here, is just turn this on for a second, spawn in our chickens, and then we can just kill the chickens. And that filled up pretty quickly. Now we just gotta clear out the rest of these chickens. Sorry, chickens. No, we'll leave that guy, why not? Oh, we'll leave that one. So now that we have that, what we can do is drop some of that blood and take some flint and steel, and we can put some of that blood, I believe we can just right click. Yep, we just right click into here. We can take that blood, and eventually that blood is going to harden right here, like as you can see here, it hardens into a block. And we take our flint and steel and we mine it, and I'm not sure why the other ones aren't hardening. Maybe let's try to do this. Let's throw these down in here, and I think it just takes some time because this one actually did end up hardening. But another thing we can do is we can clear out a 5 block area and we can fill it. We're gonna need some more blood. Let's actually just take one of these. We can fill it like that, and then we can take one of our dark gems, throw it in there, and it will give us a dark power gem. And what that does is lets us craft the blood infusion core. So if we go ahead and craft one of those up now, we can use that infusion core to make a blood infuser. So we can go ahead and craft up one of these blood infusers, and we'll go ahead and place this blood infuser and then this mechanical squeezer and drying basin down right here. And if we take a look at our progression tree for EvilCraft, the next thing we need to do is craft an undead tree. So we just need to throw a dead bush into a blood infuser with 800 millibuckets of blood. So for right now, we're just gonna go ahead and kill some more of these chickens to fill up our blood extractors. And we can go ahead and turn this off now. And we just need a dead bush, which I believe we can actually just smelt down saplings or throw it in the drying basin, or we can put shears in with saplings. So let's just go take a sapling that we have. We got a bunch of spruce saplings, so let's take 10 of them. And we'll go ahead and smelt them down. Then we'll take our dead bushes and some of our blood. And I believe we can, yep, we can just throw our blood extractor in and it will fill that up. And now we got an undead sapling. So now we can go ahead and just plant this down and take some bone meal and make that grow. Now we have undead logs and undead leaves from our undead tree. And we can go ahead next and we can just chop this tree down and grab us our undead logs. So what we want to do now is we want to be making a bunch of these undead logs. So we need a lumber bee, and in order to get the lumber bee, we just need a yellow carpenter bee and a green carpenter bee. And luckily we should have some. It looks like we do have a yellow, a green. Let's see if we have any more. Yep, looks like we have another yellow and another green. So we have 2 of each of the yellow and green carpenter bees. So now we just gotta breed these. And I believe we can just use that rose bush, yellow, green, place those down. and speed that up. There we go. We got 1 lumber bee, 2 lumber bees, and let's make 1 more. Why not? We can actually make 5 of these. Let's make 5 of these. We just gotta grab some more flowers. There's 4, and there's 5. So now we can take those out and put those back in with the rest of our bees. And I believe, yeah, these are all gonna be child bees. So we actually want these to all grow into adult bees. And if we go ahead and take a simulator upgrade, we'll take 2 of the speed upgrades. And we want these making blocks, so we want to also take a block upgrade. Throw all that in here, take those out, put those bees in, and then I believe if we just tick accelerate this, they'll eventually turn into adult bees. Yes, there we go. Now they're all adults. And then we just need to give it a block, and I believe we just have to give it one of these undead logs. Yes, so we're just gonna place an undead log here in the middle. And then if we speed this up, we can see they're going to be producing these undead logs. So now we just need to connect this to a modular router and put it in our ME system. We can take our router, place it here, place our polar module facing up, place the speed and stack upgrades, connect the sender module to this chest, and then throw the sender module into here. And now all of those logs that were being produced are going to be sent straight to our ME system, and then we can have the undead logs being automated using bees. So I'm going to go ahead and just speed this up, and I eventually do want to make some of these productivity omega upgrades. Right now we can actually craft one, but we can actually craft quite a bit of them. Because I want to have eventually a productivity omega upgrade for all of these, but the problem with that is getting that draconic essence. That was the thing that's been slowing us down so much, these draconic chunks here. But it looks like we actually have everything, and I want to see how many of these we can actually make. So right now we have 17 of these, so let's see if we can make 17. We actually can, so let's actually go ahead and craft up 17 of these productivity omega upgrades. And now this also acts as a simulator upgrade and a block upgrade. So what we can do is we can actually switch out our simulator and take out the block upgrades as well, and just have the omega upgrade in there. And then what we can do is take some of these speed upgrades, let's craft 17 of them, and we can replace these as well inside of here to make these even faster. So we just switch out the simulator and the block upgrades, place a speed upgrade, and we'll just do this until all of our hives have the upgrades in them. And it looks like all of our lumber bees just got out, so let's cage these back up, and there should be one more. Here we go. Come back. Put these guys back in here. And there we go. Now if we speed this up, we can see this will be producing us a bunch of the undead logs. And look, we already have 1,600 of them. And the rest of our hives should be producing a lot faster as well now, because the productivity omega increases the production output by 260%, which is pretty sweet. And then we can actually end up putting more of these upgrades in there. But for now, we'll just have these ones until we can completely fill all these up with the omega upgrades. And we'll go ahead and leave that for now. Oh, and just as a little update as far as modern industrialization, I wanted to take a little break before getting into progressing through the electric age, just because it is going to be a deep dive. But what we did for now was we actually replaced this whole setup we had with all electric components. And then what we actually did here is this is actually making the magnetic cupronickel wire, and in the top we have it being input with nickel and copper ingots, making the cupronickel, and the compressor is making the cupronickel plates, and it's pushing down to the wire mill to make the wire, and then it's pushing down into this polarizer to make the magnetic wire. And then we also built this electric blast furnace, which it's not actually doing anything right now. I just wanted to assemble it just cause, but it's kind of just sitting there right now. And then I ran this dense cable all around the edge here because we have a dense cable that's like going down below here, but it was getting kind of annoying to keep going up and down, so I just connected a dense cable coming out of the top around here, so then we can just connect all of everything we need to connect just right here on the top with ease of access. But getting back into the project at hand, Oh, we can actually, if we shift right click the blood extractor on these blood stains, we can actually collect up some of that blood. It's super slow, but I mean, it does something. And we can actually, what I think I want to do, no, I want to keep these separate. So let's do this. If we can take some of this cable and let's see how many channels we're using over here. 12. Okay, so we still got plenty of channels. So we can actually, and we're actually going to need some, and we're going to need some universal cable as well to power these. And I think we could just, and you know what? I think I don't want to do that. Let's just take an ender gate and we can just slap these on the front of these. Yeah, let's just do that. And then what we're going to want to do is take an export bus and some acceleration cards. And we want the squeezer to be being fed the undead logs. And we can take, we're going to need some more of that dense cable. Let's make a stack. And we're going to place that here. And then we want to take, let's make a stack of this as well. And we want this going in the top here. And then we want an import bus on the bottom here, and we want this importing blood. And then if we, so we see we got 2 buckets already. So now if we just hook this up, that should be pulling the blood out. Now if we look at our ME system and we check our blood, we have 3 buckets. So we got that working now. Let's just go ahead and cover this back up. And then what we can do is we can take that blood and actually put it into the blood infuser. So if we just hook this up, we actually don't even need all these cords. We can just hook that up like that and have it exporting blood. And then this should be starting to fill up. We just throw some acceleration cards in there. Should fill up pretty quickly. Yep, there we go. It's already full. And then we're going to want to also import back into our ME system. But for now, we're just gonna leave it exporting the blood into there, and we'll just cover this back up. So now if we check what we need from EvilCraft, we're gonna need this Mace of Destruction. And in order to get this, we just need some dark sticks, which we can make super easily. Then we need this Empowered Inverted Potentia, which we need an Inverted Potentia to make, which we need to, we can actually craft this pretty easily as well. So we'll need the Empowered Inverted Potentia, then we need a what is that called? Garmonbosia. And to get that, we just need some Materialized Vengeance Essence, which we just need some Vengeance Essence in the Crushed Dark Gems. And then we need a Promise of Tenacity 3, which we just need a Bowl of Promises, tier 2 or 3, Diamond Promise Acceptor, and an Eye of Ender, which I think we can do this. If we just take, okay, so let's get started on this. So I want to take a block of iron. Let's make like, okay, I think we just need 1. So let's take the block of iron, throw it in the blood infuser, and then we'll go ahead and speed that up a little bit because it is very slow. And it gives us an Iron Promise Acceptor. Now from there, we need the Promise of Tenacity. So we need a Bowl of Promises, which we need a Dusted Bowl of Promises, which we need a Bowl of Empty Promises. So we need some Dark Power Gems. So let's craft up some more Dark Promises. So we just need to take this blood and throw a Dark Gem into the middle, and then do it again here, throw that in the middle, and then we can take our dark, oh, we're actually gonna need 1 more. Maybe can we can extract the blood from this just like that. So that makes it very easy to get blood. Okay, so now make a Bowl of Empty Promises, and we'll craft up some more dark gems just in case we need them. All right, there we go. And then what we want to do next is, so we need these Promise of Tenacities. So we need the Iron Promise, a Spider Eye, and a Bowl of Promises, tier 0 or 1. So we just need to take this in here to make a Dusted Bowl of Promises. Then we need a tier 0. So let's just throw this in here and speed that up. And there we go. Now we got a bowl of promises tier 0. And then we just need a spider eye. So if we go back to here, we should be able to craft this promise of tenacity 1. Now once we have that one, we just need a block of gold. So let's get a block of gold, and then we'll put both of these. Oh, and I think we actually need to upgrade this first. Do we? I don't know what's supposed to go in here. I think that's just for blood. Oh, and we can actually take our dark gems, and if we put like some in here, say we put 10, we can actually automatically make these dark power gems. We don't need to throw them in the lava anymore. Or we don't need to throw them in the pool of blood anymore. So let's craft the rest of those. Okay, so we actually take the promise of tenacity and we throw it in first slot up here, and then I think we can take the gold from there. And let's actually speed up our blood processing. I really hope that doesn't go through all of our logs, but we have a lot, so shouldn't be a problem. I just wanted to stock up on some blood, and it looks like we are processing this block of gold. It's just going super slow. And here we go. Now we got a gold promise acceptor. So now we need the promise of tenacity 2. Then once we have the promise of tenacity 2, we can make the diamond promise acceptor. And then once we have the diamond promise acceptor, we can make the promise of tenacity 3. And then from there, we just need the materialized vengeance essence, and we can make the Garmonbosia. But let's start with the tenacity 2. Looks like we're missing our bowl of promises tier 1, so we just need a dusted bowl of promises again, and we'll craft that up here. Then we need to throw this in, speed it up, and we got our tier 1. Now we should be able to craft this tier 2. So now we got that. Oh, and then now this can hold a bunch more blood. And then once we have that, we can throw a block of diamond in here and speed that up as well. Oh, and that goes so slow. This is at 32 times and it's still going that slow. So the time wand will definitely save you a lot of time on this. So now we got the diamond promise acceptor, and then from there we can craft up a dusted bowl of promises again and throw that in here. And we got a tier 2. Then we just need an eye vendor, and we got the promise of tenacity 3. Then after that, all we need is the materialized vengeance essence, and we can make our Garmonbosia. And I think in the meantime, what we'll do for this mace of destruction is craft up. So we need some undead planks. Take a couple of those, and then we'll make our dark sticks, and we can make our inverted potentia. If we just make a potentia spear, make an inverted potentia, and then throw it in our infuser, or maybe not. Looks like we actually need a sanguinary environmental accelerate accumulation core. What? Okay, so we're gonna need some more stuff before we can make that. So let's go back to our evil craft tree, and we can claim all of our rewards, and we got some more condensed blood and such. And I actually want to see if we can make the promise of velocity and the promise of productivity, so we can make this effortless ring, which is looks pretty easy to do. So let's go ahead and try to do that. So I think if we take our other promises and our bowl, and we just need an iron promise acceptor. So we need 2 iron promise acceptors. So we just need 2 blocks of iron, and we'll go ahead and get those going. We got 2, and then we just need some dusted bowls, and I'm not sure if it matters. No, so you can use any tier. And then we need redstone and a lapis. Redstone, lapis, and then we can just take this like that, make a promise of velocity, and then we just need to dust this bowl up again, get it going, and then we can make our promise of productivity. And then once we have both of those, we can craft an effortless ring. It says when we're wearing this, we can walk faster and more efficient. Okay, so let's take this out of our inventory. This is how we walk normally. This is me walking, and then this is me sprinting. And And I think it just makes your walk faster. But and then if we take the effortless ring and we just have it in our inventory, this is our walking speed, and then this is our sprinting speed. So it definitely does make it our walking a lot faster. So I think we can go ahead and just throw this on. I don't know if we have. Oh, we're actually wearing 2 of these stone plate rings for our experience, but let's see if we can put this on. It doesn't look like we can actually put that on in our ring slot. So we'll go ahead and just leave this in our inventory for now. I want to see if it works while it's in our backpack. No, it doesn't. It doesn't work while it's in your backpack. So we'll just keep that there, and we'll just be able to walk around a lot faster. And we'll claim up the rest of our quests. So the first thing we're going to need to do to be able to get this vengeance essence is we have to craft up a vengeance ring. And let's get rid of all of this stuff. Let's craft up this vengeance ring. And we'll go ahead and put that one on in place of our emerald stone plate ring. And we'll just throw this in our backpack for now because we'll put it back on later. And then we can also make a vengeance focus as well. We just need another vengeance ring, and then we can craft that. And then I think we can actually turn the vengeance focus into a piercing vengeance focus. And in order to do that, we just need, so we have the pop course fruit, we just need some blood orbs and some end crystals. I think we need like 3 of these. We need 4. Okay, so we have the right amount, and we just need to make these blood orbs. And we just need a promise of tenacity and throw the empty orbs in. And hopefully we can do it like this. Maybe we need the promise of tenacity 1 in there. Let's throw the 3 in. Let's see. Okay, so just make these up. Got some blood orbs. Now we can make a piercing vengeance focus. So we are actually going to... So we have to shift right click the vengeance ring to enable it. And then we'll go ahead and put it on. And then we have the piercing vengeance focus on. And I believe what that ring does is it will attract vengeance spirits to us. So we can see there's one on the map. We look, we actually can't see it there. Can we see it here? Can't see it there either. But it is showing that there's a vengeance spirit like right here. So let's see if we can go kill a mob. Maybe we can actually do this. So we just need to go find some mobs, really, is what we need to do. Let's see, is there any down here? So we got some zombies. So let's kill that. And then we use our piercing vengeance focus on the vengeance spirits. And then when that kills it, it drops us our vengeance essence that we need. So if we kill that creeper, and as you can see, we're damaging the vengeance spirit. And when we kill it, it gives us some vengeance essence. So that is how we get the vengeance essence. What are these things? These little axolotls? They're hurting the squid. Oh, stop that. Oh, we can actually do it to the axolotls as well. It's pretty sweet, actually. And we'll go ahead and just kill a couple more of these, because I don't know how much of this vengeance essence we're gonna need. But it's kind of cool. It's like you're killing a ghost. Alright, but we got 4. I think that will be enough. I hope. A vengeance spirit trophy, it's just empty. That's funny. Alright, so now we got the vengeance essence. So now we just need to make materialized vengeance essence. So we can make 4 of that, and then we just need to throw it into here. And we need 2 Garmonbosias, so we need to at least have 2 of those in there. And we'll go ahead and speed that up. Boom, we got the Garmonbosia. And I think we don't have enough blood for this, actually. We need 50,000. We don't have that. Let's go ahead and speed this up. Let's go down to our bees and go ahead and speed up that one as well to get us some more logs. And these, having this vengeance ring active is like giving us this extra speed, extra attack speed, invisibility, and a jump boost. It's kind of crazy. We zoom around the map right now. But let's go ahead and speed that up. And once this is finished, we'll speed it up one more time and then go back up to the surface. Let's see how much. Got 1,800 undead logs. So let's speed that up. And it actually produces a lot of logs like super quickly when we speed that up. Let's go back up to the surface though. And then speed this up a little bit to get us some more blood. Oh, I just dumped my time fluid. I just did it again. Alright, and now we got our second Garmonbosia, so now we just need our empowered inverted potentia. And we're gonna need one more blood infusion core, one more Garmonbosia, and then this environmental accumulation core. And so we can probably avoid actually doing this if we just take an inverted potentia, and we can probably just take like a charged snowball. So if we take some snow, let's drop down here and charge one of these. And I believe what we can do is let's turn off our magnet. Let's throw this down and throw a charged snowball at it. And that actually empowers it. So you can avoid crafting this thing if you just charge up some snowballs. And then what we should be able to do with all of that is craft our Mace of Destruction. And then we can just take our mace and right click it on our blood infuser and it will fill up with blood. And I believe that is all it requires. Yeah, it just needs to, I don't even think it needs to be filled with blood, maybe? Oh, it does need to be filled with blood for the Oblivion Shard. I actually do want to, I did want to put all of our star components at the top here so we can just see them easier. But the next thing we need is a lightning grenade and to make a lightning bomb. And then we just need 2 piercing vengeance focuses for the Oblivion Shard. And then we need a dark tank full of Eclipse Ember fuel. So let's make another one of these. So we're gonna need these, and then we just need another vengeance ring, and we need some more crushed dark gems, so we can actually just throw those. I think we can actually just go mine some more of this up so we don't have to use the dark gems that we already have, because when we mine this it gives us the crushed gems. And I guess we do have a decent amount of dark gems that we can use. Oh, we don't want it in there, we want it in here. Just 2 times speed that. That should be good. There we go. Now we got our 2 vengeance focuses. We got our Mace of Destruction. Don't think we'll need any more of this stuff. And it looks like we just need some empty weather containers. And then we can, oh, we need some Thunderstruck weather containers. So we're going to need to make Eclipse Ember fuel, which we need, or let's start with the lightning grenade. We just need this weather container to be Thunderstruck. Weather container when the rain begins to fall. And I'm not sure if that means like do we have to throw it down? I'm like so confused on how this works. So I think we need, oh, we need to go find one of these environmental accumulators. So we have to go find one of those. I'm pretty sure I saw one near the spawn when we first spawned in. I'm pretty sure I came across one. That was like forever ago, so I could be wrong. But I believe there was one in this area. I believe this is it right here. Yeah, this is it right here. So I believe we just can take this and throw it in there. Oh yeah, so that is what we do. So we just throw it in, and then we can take some glowstone dust and make a Thunderstruck container, and then from there we can make a lightning grenade, and then from there we just put it in with some TNT and we have a lightning bomb. Okay, that was easy enough. And then we just need to get the dark tank full of Eclipse Ember fuel. I need 16 buckets of it. So first we're gonna need to make dark tank, and we can make, oh, I made 2 of them by accident, but we could actually make a couple of these, because what we can do with this is make a bigger one. So, and I'm not sure how big you can make these, but we're only gonna need a 16 one for this. But I actually want to put, if we go back home, I want to see if we can put, oh, did not want to place that down right there. Can we scoop? Oh, okay. No, we cannot scoop. Can we turn this to bucket mode somehow? Maybe if we, no, it's just eating all of my fluid. Auto supply enabled. I don't want to auto supply. I want to put stuff in there. Maybe let's place it down right there, and then let's take a bucket. Oh, it's XP juice. We don't want XP juice. We want time fluid. We can put it in there. Okay, and we can take these buckets and put them in there, and I think we'll fill that up later on, but I do want that to be right there. So instead of having to go through and do this over and over again, we can just pull straight from this dark tank. But we need the Eclipse Ember fuel. So we're gonna want to take some of this Shadow Pulse goo, place it here, And then we're going to want some sculpt. And then I believe we just need to take some coal blocks and we'll put this like that. Then we'll feed this sculpt and place another block of coal. Turn off our shaders real quick so we can see that process moving. And then power our shaders back on. Give it a second. And then we have this raw primal coal. And I believe we get more with our efficiency or our fortune, I believe it is. And there we go, we got 21 of them. And we'll just do this a couple times because I'm not sure how much we're actually going to need in order to get 16 buckets. And then what we need to do is if we open our crafting table, and I believe we make, yeah, so we make the primal coal blocks, and then I think we place these on as well, and then throw sculk in there. And I believe that feeds it as well. Yes, it does. And I believe this will give us like the next tier. Yep, so now we got the blaze ember and we got 13 of that. And then I think we need the eclipse ember, so maybe we need to do it for this one as well. So we can only make one block of that, but let's see. Let's actually see if we can like do this. Feed that, speed it up. So we got void flame coal and then our primal coal. Let's turn our magnet back on. And yeah, I think we're gonna end up needing like a lot of this stuff. So let's go ahead and just keep producing this. And there's definitely some ways we could automate this. I'm just not super worried about that right now because I just want to have enough to make what we need to make. So let's do one more batch of this, maybe one more. All right, and then we can take this, craft up some blocks, place these on here, and then once we have these we can make 5 blocks, get the void flame, and then if we take the void flame, ooh, we get the eclipse ember, and we got 8 of that. And then to make this into eclipse ember fuel, we need shadow pulse goo and unrefined eclipse ember fuel, and we need void flame, blaze ember. So we're gonna need a lot of all of this stuff. So I think we are gonna end up wanting to automate it because I don't think it's gonna be that difficult to do. So let's find a spot and kind of set this up. So now this whole setup is going to be producing us the blaze ember, the void flame coal, and finally the eclipse ember, which is the last thing we're going to need before placing all of that into this water here, and that's going to make us the eclipse ember fuel that we need. So we're utilizing the advanced clickers to be placing sculk down in the middle. We have the block placer that's going to be placing the respective blocks on all of the goo blocks in the middle, and then we have this block breaker which is going to be breaking all of the blocks in that area, and then it's also this one is going to be breaking all the blocks in this area. And then we just have some item collectors to pick all of the items up and then put it into our ME system, and then we also have everything being soul surged to make it a little bit faster. But now we just have to throw the polymorphic catalyst into the water, and then we have to throw the blaze ember inside of that, and then we just wait a second and this will eventually turn into the blaze ember fuel. Once that's done, then we throw in the void flame coal, and then we wait a second for that. And once this turns like a little bit lighter of a shade of blue, then we throw in the eclipse ember, give that a second, and you can see once that turns like a darker shade of black, then that's how you know that you have the eclipse ember. And then you can just take that and dump it into your dark tank. And then once we have 16 buckets of it, then we're gonna be done. So you basically just need 16 of the polymorphic, the blaze ember, the void flame, and the eclipse ember, and then 1 shadow pulse goo in the middle and some sculk to feed it, and then you'll be able to get your 16 buckets. And if we turn off our shaders, we can see like the progression as we are waiting for the fluid to change. Now we just need this, and we can watch that change into the eclipse ember fuel that we need. And then we just need to repeat this process one more time and then we'll be done. Alright, and there we go. Now we have our 16 buckets of eclipse ember fuel. So now we can pick this up, and we're going to need that for the philosopher's fuel, and that is all of the requirements we need to do for EvilCraft. And since we're not going to need any more of this for right now, I'm just gonna turn all of this off because it's making way too much noise. And I haven't made a paxel yet, and we had enough Eclipse alloy to make a pickaxe, an axe, and a shovel. So I actually want to throw, what's it, do I throw it all in here? How do I make the paxel? Just looked at it. I need, it says I can throw these all on the smithing table. Why is it not letting me? Oh, there we go. I can make a paxel, which I haven't actually made one of these yet, but we got one. But that is where we're going to end off the video. If you enjoyed, please feel free to drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.